Hi there, I am your English hero, Sir Paul. As a student, you are required to read, and read a lot. Students are asked to read research studies, news articles, textbooks, web pages, lecture slides, and even instructions from teachers since you guys are having asynchronous or online activities. With all that reading, knowing the best reading techniques can get you a big step ahead. Just what are the right techniques? Well, that is why I am here, to help you guys out. When you read, you use a particular technique to suit your purpose. Some of these techniques are scanning, skimming, speed reading, intensive reading, and extensive reading. Let us talk about the first technique. Scanning is reading a text quickly in order to find specific information, figures, or names. When scanning, you look only for a specific fact or piece of information without reading everything. For scanning to be successful, you need to understand how your material is structured as well as comprehend what you read so you can locate the specific information you need. Scanning also allows you to find details and other information in a hurry. Now, how do you scan? Because you already scan many different types of material in your daily life, learning more details about scanning will be easy. Establishing your purpose, locating the appropriate material, and knowing how the information is structured before you start scanning is essential. The material you scan is typically arranged in the following ways: alphabetically, chronologically, non-alphabetically, by category, or textually. Alphabetical information is arranged in order from A to Z, while chronological information is arranged in time or numerical order. Information can also be arranged in non-alphabetical order, such as a television listing, or by category, listings of like items such as an auto parts catalog. Sometimes information is located within the written paragraphs of text, also known as a textual sense, as in an encyclopedia entry. Learning to use your hands while scanning is very helpful in locating specific information. Do you do anything with your hands to locate a word in a dictionary? To find a meeting time on your calendar? To read a train or bus schedule? Using your hand or finger is extremely helpful in focusing your attention and keeping your place while scanning a column of material. Your peripheral vision can also help you scan effectively. When your hand moves down a list of names, you see not only the name your finger is pointing to, but also the names above and below. Let your eyes work for you when searching for information. Do you ever feel like you spend way too much time reading? Do you have trouble determining which parts of a text are the most important? Do you wish you could collect information from books in a quicker and more efficient way? If so, consider skimming the next time you sit down to read a text. Skimming is a strategic, selective reading method in which you focus on the main ideas of a text. When skimming, deliberately skip text that provides details, stories, data, or other elaboration. Instead of closely reading every word, focus on the introduction, chapter summaries, first and last sentences of paragraphs, bold words, and text features. Skimming is extracting the essence of the author's main messages rather than the finer points. Now the question is, how do you skim efficiently? I am going to show you guys the most efficient skimming methods that you can apply while reading. First we have beginnings and endings. In beginnings and endings, all you have to do is to read first and last sentences of paragraphs, first and last paragraphs of major sections, and introductions and summaries of chapters. Another method is wheat versus chaff, where you read only the amount of text necessary to determine if a section presents a main idea or support for a main idea. And the last one, visual and verbal cues, wherein you are going to watch for signal words and phrases that indicate an author's direction. Words like however, although, moreover, in addition to, are some of the examples of signal words. The next technique is called intensive reading. The meaning of intensive reading is to read with full concentration and complete focus. It's not about reading book after book or 10 articles a day. Even if you're reading a single line quote, you should try to understand what the words are trying to convey. Intensive reading is one of the most critical skills you can develop to get a better understanding of information. When you have to read a report for work, for instance, you can't just skim it and call it a day. You have to get a deeper understanding of what's written, assess the purpose and evaluate the results to make sense of it. Reading intensively will help you tackle complex texts. You'll be able to strengthen your reading comprehension, vocabulary and language skills. In school, it was easier to read in bulk and still understand everything. This is primarily because we had more time and fewer worries related to our future. Today, we get distracted for a good hour if someone so much as notifications from our social media accounts. Here are some ways to develop the habit of intensive reading. First is taking notes. Try to jot down notes and ideas in the margins as you're reading. Maybe you have a question related to the text or a thought that you want to express. Taking notes is convenient when you reread the text and can be particularly helpful when you're reading a long report. Add sticky notes with questions, ideas and opinions so you can share them with the author. Not only will you be able to keep track, but it'll also give you something to focus on while you're reading. Second is, break down the reading process. A handy trick to intensive reading is breaking it down into 3 steps: pre-reading, reading, and post-reading. The first step is preparation. Use your existing knowledge to understand the purpose of the text. The second is the actual reading process that's supplemented by note-taking. The final step is what comes after you're done reading. This is where you summarize all the information, ask questions and get your thoughts in order. Third on the list is apply what you've learned. It's not enough to simply keep the information to yourself and forget about it the next day. If you can find ways to use that information, you'll be able to retain it for much longer. For instance, if you're reading a lesson on reading techniques, just like this video lesson, you can make notes that you can later share with your friend or classmates. These can include points to look out for, strategies for reading and other ideas that crop up as you read. You'll find that there are many advantages of intensive reading. It increases your efficiency and saves time in the process. You're able to focus on one task and deliver improved results. Imagine if you had to read the same story every day for the rest of your life. For an avid reader, this might sound like a horror story. The joy of reading is being able to consume all forms of written material unrestricted. Whether you're worried about your reading speed or your ability to grasp concepts quickly, you can become a proficient reader with practice. Develop the habit of reading everything from novels to business reports. If you want to get the most out of your reading experience, you should practice extensive reading. If we have intensive reading, we have, on the other hand, extensive reading. Extensive reading is a type of reading where you engage with different types of reading material. It can be fiction, non-fiction, school-related documents, newspaper articles, or even statistical or mathematical data. At school, there are complex subject reports to read, numbers to make sense of, and essays to write. With extensive reading, you can skim large amounts of text and get a general idea of what it's trying to convey. Let's explore the meaning and definition of extensive reading. The meaning of extensive reading is reading widely but not necessarily focusing on only one text. You can read from different sources to develop your reading skills. It's not about finding layers of meaning, grammar rules, or other critical aspects of a text. Extensive reading has been used for beginner-level language learners. Like you guys on the grade 7 level. It helps to familiarize students with reading material and build the cognitive ability to understand new words, construct sentences, and make sense of the text as a complete unit. You'll get a general understanding of the text and improve your language skills. Whether you're a beginner or a proficient reader, extensive reading will help you polish your reading ability. You can try to read as much and as widely as possible. It's better not to restrict yourself to the same type of sources. Do you guys want to know the advantages of reading extensively? I'm going to give a couple of advantages that you can utilize to be efficient in extensive reading. First is, it helps to develop an interest in reading. Many of us find reading to be a chore, an activity that may even make us fall asleep in an instant. But it may be impossible to avoid reading altogether. If not for pleasure, we still have to go through work-related material like reports, minutes of meetings, and emails. Extensive reading will help you develop a healthy interest in reading. You'll be able to approach texts with more enthusiasm and attentiveness. Second is, it can improve reading comprehension. You'll find your reading comprehension significantly improving with practice. You'll be able to make sense of text right from the get-go. Sometimes it's hard to focus on a sentence if it's too complex. Reading extensively will help you get used to different types of written material. This way you can learn to focus on the text itself without losing yourself in its structural makeup. The last one is, it helps you improve your vocabulary. When you read from multiple sources, you become better at picking up new words. For vocabulary, the most important thing is context, the setting where each word is used. As you continue reading, you'll be able to understand the meaning of different words as well as connect them to the general idea presented in the text. The last type of reading is photo reading. Photo reading is a technique developed by Paul R. Scheele, who claimed that it can help readers increase their reading speed by 25,000 words per minute. It relies on an unconscious state of the mind, employing more of the non-conscious, right brain. It involves 5 steps. Preparation. Preview. Photo reading. Post-view. And activation. These steps will help readers to rely not on the words that are on the page, but on what goes on in their head. Instead of moving their eyeballs really fast, they use their brain more efficiently. Photo reading teachers begin by helping readers enter a relaxed state of awareness, called accelerated learning state. Here, they relax their body and mind to become receptive to the information contained in the book. Then, they photo read books as fast as they can turn the pages, 25,000 words a minute. The readers will get a little comprehension during this stage, because comprehension comes in a later stage called activation. As a result, they are not worried about comprehension, and the process never becomes stressful. Additionally, when they then slow down for regular reading, which they will still use now and then, they find themselves automatically going faster than before they learned photo reading.